don't have to wait until you reach financial independence to start enjoying your life. You can do that much earlier and start living a life that you love and that's true to you. Welcome to Freedom Before FIRE. Using FIRE and life design techniques, we help you create freedom on your way to FIRE instead of waiting until you're retired to do the things that light you up. I'm your host Greg, a FIRE movement and life design enthusiast. If you're itching to get freedom now, then let's do this. Hello there and a warm welcome back to the show. I hope everything is well with you and you're doing well, and obviously you're probably gearing up for the Christmas break. So my parents have actually flown here to the Philippines from the UK and they're visiting for the holidays, so I'm looking forward to spending a bit of time with them and taking them around. I think they miss Filipino food when they're in UK, so for sure we'll be eating a lot. Sorry, I do have to apologise for this slightly nasally sound. I've got a bit of a cold and some sniffles, but as we do on this show, we just carry on. Okay, so for this episode, I wanted to highlight that by making some lifestyle shifts or removing things, you can get some freedom in your life. Whether that's time freedom, freedom from stress, freedom from negative things in your life, or gaining financial freedom, and so on. And so to give you some ideas of lifestyle shifts, here are 5 things that I've quit to regain some freedoms on my journey. Okay, so the first one is actually 2 things jammed into one. And that's I quit watching TV and watching the news. So in the last 7 years of living in the Philippines, after moving here from the UK, I actually haven't been watching TV at home. Now, there may have been the odd rare time where I've flicked it on here and there, but definitely not on a regular basis, like every day or every other day or something like that. Probably just a couple of times in a year. The funny thing is, in all the apartments we've been in, there's always been a TV on the wall as part of the rental unit, but we hardly use them. They're mainly just on the wall gathering dust. So essentially, we've managed to regain back our time from not watching mindless TV shows. Now, because we don't watch TV, this means we also don't watch the news. So not watching the news has given us the freedom from stress. Because the news is supposed to be negative and shocking, it's what keeps eyeballs on the screens. And of course, the more eyes watching, the more advertising money they get. Okay, so the second thing I done was I quit the commute to work. So when I was back in UK, for all the years I was working full-time, I always had to commute to and from work. Whether it was an hour-plus train journey into central London or driving 45 minutes by car to a regional office. Then when I moved to the Philippines, one of the things I really wanted to cut down was commuting. Especially in the capital city of Manila, where the traffic is absolutely diabolical. So for the first few years, I rented apartments that were walking distance to the office. The first place I stayed in was a 20-minute walk to the office, but the second place was literally a 5-minute walk, which is insane. I literally just got out of bed and I was in the office. So doing that easily saved me 3 to 4 hours of my time every weekday. Now that gave me time to work on my personal development, fitness, and of course, more time with the family. Luckily, after the pandemic, the company went remote and we've been able to live a bit further away from the office, which is great because we also save a bit more. Okay, so the third thing that I quit was lifestyle creep, also known as keeping up with the Joneses. Now this is essentially increasing your expenses as your income increases. So for example, if you get salary increases, instead of reducing or keeping your expenses at the same level, which is what we do in the FI space, you end up spending more because you have more. So basically, you don't end up increasing your savings rate. Anyway, I actually talk about this more on episode 82, my 3 money mistakes I made in my 20s that I'm still paying for to this day. So feel free to have a listen. Okay, moving on to the fourth thing that I quit, which is I quit eating meat. Yep, I became vegetarian. So I first started off being vegan in January of 2021. Then after about a year and a half, I dropped down a level and went vegetarian as I really miss cheese on my pizza. Now there's a lot of factors which made me not eat meat anymore, and a lot of people just focus on the meat side of it. Like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. How can you not eat fried chicken anymore or grilled steak? But the main benefit of this is naturally I consume way more vegetables and fruits on a daily basis, and the nutritional benefits show. So I recently done an annual health checkup, which is a requirement in the office, and thankfully the readings for all the things I worry about are within the normal range. For example, sugar, cholesterol, uric acid, blood pressure, sodium. Those things, amongst others, were within that normal range. Okay, so the fifth thing I done to regain some freedom back is I quit posting on my personal social media. So being an early millennial, my generation is on Facebook. In my 20s, I used to post on there, but from my mid-30s, I just stopped posting stuff. Even my family tease me for not posting. Every time we go out and I'm taking pictures, they're like, why are you taking pictures? You're not going to post them anyway. Which is true. The only time I do post is once a year on my birthday, and my birthday is between Christmas and New Year. And of course, you get birthday greetings, Christmas greetings, New Year greetings. And I've got a bit of downtime during that time anyway, so yeah, I might post something during that period. Yeah, so anyway, quitting posting random stuff on my personal social media has given me back a bit of my time and headspace. Now, just to clarify, my Instagram for this podcast is a totally different story. I love creating and sharing on there because it's not random stuff. This is something I'm passionate about and absolutely value doing. And actually, while on that topic, if you do want to get in touch, you can send me a DM on there at Freedom Before Fi, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Okay, so those were the 5 things I quit in my life to regain some of my freedoms, even if it's just on a small scale, like the last one I just mentioned about not posting on my personal social media. So here's a quick recap of the 5. So the first one is I quit watching TV and consequently the news. The second one is I quit the commute to work. The third one is I quit lifestyle creep, or keeping up with the Joneses as they say. The fourth one is I quit eating meat and went vegetarian. And then the fifth one is I quit posting random stuff on my personal social media. Alright, that's what I have for you today. If you want to hear more about finding more freedom before getting to FI, feel free to click follow on your podcast app to be notified of future episodes. Have a great rest of the week, and as always, practice gratitude, live life by your design, and do things that make you smile. You got this.